my channel. So today I want to do a video for you about what I do on the first day of school. I know that a lot of you are starting your first day of school soon, some older teachers and some newer teachers. So if you are a new teacher and you don't know what to do, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a heads up on what I do for the first day of school. I teach high school, so it may be a little bit different if you teach elementary school or any other younger age. So if you teach junior high or high school, you might be able to use these things too. Or even if you do teach elementary, maybe you can use this too. I actually start my first day in August. So the first week of August, we have teacher development days, and then that's when we kind of set up our classroom. And then the second week is when the students start. So it's coming up pretty quickly. I'm still here in Idaho. If you don't know, I bought a house out here. I teach in Southern California, so I'm driving back to Southern California actually in a few days so I can go back and get ready to teach and get ready for school. So anyways, first day of school, a lot of people say, is the absolute most important day of the entire school year. For me, I teach on a quarter system. So technically I have a lot of first days of school, if that makes any sense. The first day of every quarter I have new students, so I kind of get to redo the first day of school 4 times a year, which is really awesome because if you mess up one quarter, that's okay, you can learn from it and you can redo it the next quarter, do something different. So this time I'm going to be definitely doing something different. The first week, I did not do a seating chart, and I didn't see too much problem with that until it started to get into maybe like the third quarter. First quarter, I didn't do a seating chart because I didn't know like, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna put kids? Same with the second quarter, I didn't do it either. For me, I like to wait a week so that I can see which kids kind of gravitate towards each other and have that click. It's a trick that I usually do, especially on the first day. If you have kids come in the first day of school and they don't know where to sit, they're gonna sit next to their friends. And chances are if they're sitting right next to their best friends, they are going to be distracted the entire quarter, or if you teach an entire year, they're gonna be distracted the entire year. So I like to see where they're sitting, who they're sitting next to, and if they're talking a lot. If they're sitting next to someone who's their best friend and they aren't talking, that's fine. But if they're talking to someone a lot and constantly disrupting and having problems, then that's what I use to make the seating chart. So I know exactly where every student sits on the first day because I have them write their name in on this fake seating chart so that they think that that's going to be where they sit, but they aren't sitting there if they have problems. I actually like to go alphabetical because it's a little bit easier for me, especially since I don't know names and things like that. So if it's alphabetical, it's a whole lot easier to learn your name because I'm calling you off row by row, like each person by their last name on roll call, so I know who you are just by where you're sitting. Then I decided to put numbers on my desk so students were assigned numbers, and there's a whole other story with that. But anyways, the first week, I did not usually do a seating chart, but this next year, this next quarter, I am gonna be doing a seating chart on the first day of school. So I talked to a teacher who's right next door to my classroom, and I asked him when he does seating charts, if he does it on the first day or the second day or third day or anything like that, because I don't like to have to redo seating charts all the time. And at our school, schedules get changed around a lot within the first and second week. So if I'm making a seating chart on the first day and then the second day I'm missing like a third of the class, it gets really frustrating. So I don't like to have to do that until the end of the first week. But this coming school year, I am gonna be doing it the first day of school. The teacher next door to me said that it is the best thing you can do in terms of classroom management because the first day they know you're in charge, this is where you sit, you don't get to choose who you sit by, all this stuff. So they have that in their mind, like, okay, I get it, you're in charge. So that's what I'm gonna be doing my first day of school in terms of seating charts. So for me, I plan all summer. I am creating my own curriculum because my specific demographic that I'm teaching is a lot different than the stuff that I'm supposed to teach. We don't have to teach anything at my school. We have more freedom, but my kids can't really connect to the things that we're supposed to be teaching or that normal teachers are maybe teaching all the time. So I actually create my own curriculum. I think of all the different Common Core standards and how we can get them to understand those skills in a way that's going to relate to these specific students. So for me, I've been planning all summer, and I plan using a Google Slides. So I put on the Google slide exactly what we're doing during the whole day in order. So it's kind of like an agenda, a daily agenda. What are we doing? So they can see exactly what we're doing every day. There's usually pictures on the side to like make them laugh or like funny things. Or if there's an assignment that we're doing and there's an example, I'll put a picture of an example on the slide too. There's going to be the date and there's going to be everything that we do. So the first day of school, I'm going to start with the slideshow. Now the slideshow just kind of is projected onto the screen as they walk in. And once they walk into the class, I'm going to be outside into the hallway greeting everyone, be like, hello, good morning, welcome to class, I'm your teacher, blah, blah, blah. So they're walking in and I'm still in the hallway greeting more kids. Once the bell rings, I come back inside. But as they're inside and I'm in the hallway greeting other students, they can actually read the board to see exactly what we're doing and kind of get warmed up to be ready to start the class and know what we're going to do. So for me, this is something I'm doing that's completely new. Usually on the first day of school, I'll give them some kind of worksheet or like visual type of thing where I can get to know who they are, and I do that every single quarter. The only thing is that at my school, since a lot of the kids failed their original class and were sent to my school to retake it, you get a lot of the kids who will fail your class again and have to retake it next quarter and fail it again and have to retake it next quarter. And you're supposed to have them 1 quarter, maybe 2 quarters if they failed the entire school year at their other school. But you get a lot of the same kids every single quarter. So it's not uncommon to have the same kid every single quarter for the year because they just continue to fail. The best thing for me is that I can learn how to help them. Okay, they didn't learn this way, how can I do it this time? So the best way for me is to get to know the student. But since I have a lot of the same students, I can't reuse the same material. So if I'm going to teach first quarter, I'm going to give them this worksheet that tells me all these things like your favorite color, your favorite candy, all this stuff, telling me all this stuff about yourself. I can't use that again the next quarter. I mean, technically I can, but if half of the class is the same exact students from the previous quarter, they've already done it. They don't want to do it again, so they won't do it. And if they've already done something, or it's too easy, or it's too hard, they will not even think about doing it, let alone actually trying to do it. So I can't use the same stuff. The cool thing about that is I can try a lot of different things, but again, it's just a lot of planning. So this year, I am not starting the first day off with that. I'm actually going to do that, I want to say the second day, maybe the third day, I can't remember exactly, but I have everything planned out for every single day, and it took so long. I'll show you an overview of what it is, so I'm going to show you. But the first day, we are going to be kind of watching a video on YouTube about our mascot. So our mascot is a puma, and I was like, you know what, that's really important for PBIS. So PBIS is like positive behavior, like whatever support, basically getting students to act better through reward systems instead of punishments. So we have an acronym at our school, which is PUMAS. I guess that's our mascot. So it's proactive, united, motivative, attentive, and socially responsible. So that's our acronym, PUMAS. So I figured, you know what, the best day to do this PBIS stuff for our acronym and show them the importance of acting like a great citizen and a great student would be the first day of school. My previous school had something similar where the first day all the teachers would teach a slideshow. So the first period, no matter what class you teach, you're going to teach the students the P for PUMAS. The second period, you're going to teach them the U. So they'll go through all 5 periods, and now all the students know what your acronym stands for. Again, that was my last school, so they weren't PUMAS, but anyways, you get it. So my school tries to do this, but not all the teachers participate, so it gets kind of crazy chaotic. And I'll ask the students, okay, did you learn this in your previous period? And someone will say no. And I'm like, well, okay, so you don't even know the last one, so we're continuing, and that's not really fair. So the first day, I'm going to do it where it's related to our acronym, our PBIS, and our school, so that we have a lot of new students that can get to know the school. So our mascot is the puma. So I actually didn't even know what a puma was, so I had to Google it. How sad is that? So did you know that a puma is actually a cougar? And there's mountain lion, it's the same thing. A cougar, a mountain lion, a puma. There's all these different names for them, but they're the same exact thing, which is crazy. So I learned something, so why not teach the kids what I learned, especially since it relates to their school, it's their mascot. So first day of school, we are going to learn about pumas, and I'm going to have like this guiding sentence frame type of thing so they can fill in the answers, and I'm going to talk to them about why pumas are so cool and what it means to be a puma, and then we're gonna get into our acronym and tell them what each letter of the puma's acronym stands for. So if we're gonna go over what a puma is, that's gonna relate to our school and how you should behave, which I thought was a really cool connection, especially since people like me, I don't know what the heck a puma is. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna show you exactly what the slideshow looks like. Hang on one second, I have my laptop over here, but I just use a black background. I'm gonna cover up the name of my school because I don't want, you know, safety issues. Okay, so here is my first slide. So they're gonna see this as they walk in. This is what it looks like. So most of the slides look like this or very similar to this. It'll say week 1, day 1, and it'll tell you what, you know, day of the week it is, Monday. So here they can see exactly what we're doing. So number 1, we will start with seating chart implementation. Your seat will be chosen for you completely at random. When you come into class each day, you will be expected to sit in your assigned seat only. If you ask to switch seats, the answer will be no. If you need to sit in the front to see the board clearly, let me know before the end of the period. You may not move seats unless I assign you a new seat. If the seating chart is not working out, I will move you. We will go over more of this on Wednesday. So basically, I'm just going over the seating chart first, and they know that. So right when they walk in, they're gonna take a seat, but they're already gonna know we're gonna do a seating chart, so I can't get too comfortable. I'm not gonna take my backpack off. I'm not gonna open up my binder and get through all my stuff and take it all out and put it on my desk. I'm gonna keep my backpack on. I'm gonna sit patiently in my seat until I'm assigned a new seat because I don't know where I'm supposed to sit. So the first thing, seating chart. They already know that once they come in, so they're already prepared. So when I come in, I don't really have to go over it too much and explain it all because they already read it from the bulletin board, from the projector. Okay, so the second thing says, we'll be watching a short clip on pumas. Make sure you pay attention because you'll need to fill out a guiding worksheet as the video plays. So I have the link for the YouTube video that we're gonna watch. This is actually a video that kids made, not at my school, but I think it was just like some kind of volunteer thing. So kids made that, so I thought it would be really cool for them to see that other kids are making videos too. So we're gonna watch the video. There's a picture of a puma here, which gets them excited so they know exactly like how cool they are and how proud they can be a puma because they look so cool. So we're watching this video. I'm printing out a piece of paper, so a worksheet that basically I went through the whole video on YouTube and I wrote it all out, I typed it all out, and I left blanks. So they have to fill in the blanks. And they're gonna get points in groups after the seating chart. So they already know what group they're in, and the table who gets all of them correctly first will get points for their groups. So we're gonna go into groups a little bit later in another video, so I'm gonna tell you everything about that. But they're gonna be filling in blanks, so they can talk in groups to do that and kind of get answers from each other, maybe split up the work, which is perfectly fine for me as long as they're learning together. And then you see number 3, after the video clip, I will come around to stamp worksheets and we will then discuss the answers as a class. So this is what it looks like. So at the top they'll write their first name, their last name, and their period number. I might put the group color on there as well, but I'm not sure if I want to do that just yet. The top just says, what is a puma? So that's my title. I made this completely by myself. All of this is just a fill in the sentence kind of thing. So they are listening as the little videos playing, and they have to listen very carefully and write quickly because as the kids are talking in the video, it goes kind of fast. So they have to work together as a group to make sure they get them all as well. If they miss some, they have to talk to their group members or they're gonna miss points. So this kind of encourages that collaboration for them. Even though they don't like to talk, it'll help them out, especially on the first day. But you fill in the blank and just scroll down. So I was able to fill out the whole page for all of that text. So I stamped the worksheets just to make sure that everybody finishes. If there's a group that did not finish, maybe they don't know the answer to one of them, they're not gonna get a stamp because once I go over them, it's not fair that you should just, you know, take the answer as I give it to you. You should have been paying attention. So I stamped them to make sure that students are doing them on time and finishing it. If they don't finish it, then at least I know because there's no stamp, but they still turned it in. So they are gonna lose points because they weren't paying attention, they weren't finishing the work, but they're not gonna lose a ton. But it's easier for me to see whether or not they finished on time by the stamp. And it also gets them kind of encouraged to do it quicker so that they're kind of scared when I start to come, like, I gotta hurry, I gotta do this. What's the answer? Let's do this. Come on, guys, let's figure this out. So they're more excited about finding the answers, participating, and getting their point. So the last thing on the slideshow says that we're gonna go over our PUMA's acronym. So they already learned a bit about PUMA's. We went over it, we discussed it. We kind of discussed all the cool things about PUMA's. There's a lot of different cool things. Did you know that there's a difference between pumas and tigers in terms of purring, meowing, and roaring? A puma, a mountain lion, cannot roar, but a tiger cannot meow or purr. That's so crazy, that's so cool, who knew? So they're gonna find out all this cool stuff about pumas, and fill it out in the worksheet. We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna go over all the cool things and why we would wanna be a Puma. Or if you don't wanna be a Puma, if you think they're lame, what do you wanna be? If you could change our mascot, what would you change it to and why? So it's gonna be a class discussion just to get people talking, because my first day of school at my school, everyone is so silent. And it's not just the first day, it's a lot of the time. So it's a real struggle to get kids to participate and actually talk. Like, they'll write things down most of the time, but when it comes to talking, no, they won't. They're just so scared. I usually get a period every single quarter, which is the same. The first day up until the last day, dead silent. They're just so silent. I'm asking them questions. You have no idea how awkward it is when you have a class of like 30, 35 kids and you're asking them, so what do you think about this? And they just stare at you in silence, and you just sit there until someone answers for like a minute, and it's like a minute of dead silence. Like, you don't know how long a minute goes by until you're sitting there in silence waiting for someone to talk. So this one is going to basically get everyone kind of warmed up to each other and get them talking the first day of school. It's gonna be a fun discussion, so I'm gonna get them more involved. And from there, we're gonna jump into our acronym. So I'm gonna go over what each letter means, and then we're going to discuss why it's important to live by those different rules for our acronym, or like proactive. Why should we be proactive? Why is that important? Why would we even put that in there? Why wouldn't we put like pizza instead of proactive? It's a P. So we're gonna go over all these different scenarios and discuss it. And then why is each one important? Why should we be united? Why should we be socially responsible? Why? Like, why would we even have that? So we just go over every single letter in the acronym, and we're just gonna discuss it. After we go over our acronym, the students are gonna flip over their worksheet. And that's where they kind of do a little bit of research. So basically what they're gonna do is flip the page over, and on the back it's going to have different questions and tasks for them to do and answer about our acronym. And the first one, they have to go to google.com and do a search for acronym DEF, which is definition, short for definition. Press enter. So it tells them everything that they need to do step by step, and they're gonna write the definition of acronym on there. So I teach a lot of English language learners. I know some of them don't even know what the word acronym means, so this one will help them understand what the word means. So number 2 says, what is the one word that makes up our school acronym? So the answer for this is gonna be Pumas, because that's just our acronym. So they're gonna have to remember that when we talk about it. And we also have people that come around the class every now and then, people from the district, and WASC people. If you don't know what WASC is, it's people that like make sure our school is accredited and everything. So they'll come around, they'll ask students to make sure that they have that knowledge of what our acronym is and what it stands for. So I asked them on this paper too, especially the first day of school. I think it's really important. So they have to know, number 2, what is our acronym? Number 3, what does each letter in our acronym stand for? Number 4 says, using our acronym, explain how you plan to prove that you are going to be a great student and citizen in my class using our acronym. Fill each line and use every part of our acronym. So basically, they have to tell me, how are you going to make sure that you are being awesome? Although it's important to have these character traits outside of my classroom, I want to focus on my classroom since I'm, teaching it in my class. It kind of goes along with the syllabus. So they have to fill up all the lines. Number 5, why do you think it's important for our school to have an acronym? Or is it not important? Why or why not? Fill every line. So if they don't even think acronyms are cool, they think they're lame and they don't help us at all, then they'd be able to tell me safely, like, voice your opinion. Like, you're not going to get punished for voicing your opinion. So if you do think it helps, why do you think it's important? Number 6, this is the fun part. So it says, think about what things are important in keeping peace at school. Think about the words that come in mind and create a new school acronym. Change the overall word and what each letter stands for. You must come up with an acronym specifically for our school. If you copy one from the internet, you're cheating and will get a 0 on the assignment. Both sides. So this is a 2-sided worksheet, so they're going to get a 0 on each side. So this is where they come up with their own. I tell them in class that if they want to change the mascot, they can do that too. But for this part, it's just going to be changing the acronym. So if they want to change it to like an eagle, then their acronym could be Eagle, and that would make sense. But they don't have to change the mascot if they don't want to. And number 7 says, why did you choose this acronym? How does it create a positive climate for school? Do you think it benefits both students and staff? How? Fill in every line. So this is an interesting question I wanted to add about how it benefits the staff members, not just the teachers, but like the people in the office, anyone, the counselor. Like, how does this benefit not only students, but staff members? and it kind of gets them thinking about why we have rules. So the last part at the bottom is not a question. It just says, hooray, you're finished. Make sure your name period is on each side of the paper and turn it in. So that's just a reminder. And this last page is just a key. So when I go in and grade the answers for the video, I know all of the answers are here. So I did that ahead of time. So that's also going to be something I use in class when I go over the answers with them. So they'll get a stamp first once I see that they've completed all the answers, or at least have tried. And then after that, we're going to go in and correct them, so I'm going to have all the answers for them. So this is my worksheet. I made this all myself. I just like to use different fonts to make it exciting, and that's it. So this is a way for them to get to know our school, our PBIS system, and how our school actually runs. So it will not only help them, but it'll help their teachers, it'll help all the staff, because all the students know, okay, I can't do this in the hallway, I can't do that. When realistically, it's common sense. So they know, but how are you going to put that into play? Okay, you know you got to be united. How are you going to be united? Are you going to make fun of that kid because he had a question, or are you going to support him, maybe give him an answer that you already know? How can we be united? So they're going to actually tell me how they can be united and all these different things. And then they have that creative part, which I think is really fun. So if you want to use this for your school, definitely use it. I think it's going to be so cool, especially since I found a video that explains what pumas are, because you hear about them all the time, but you don't actually know what they are. Or maybe you do, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't. Anyways, if you want to use this, definitely use it. I'm curious what you guys do for your first day of school. Again, I don't know if this will work for elementary school students. It might. I'm just not familiar with the younger age. So if they can, then definitely do it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you're doing for your first day of school. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Last night you caught my eye, so fly.